A lot of what you believe to be your own beliefs are simply your parents' beliefs that they pass down to you. And I'm not saying that all beliefs that parents pass down to you are bad or disempowering or don't serve you, but there are a large amount that genuinely aren't serving you to your highest potential. So you got to understand, we take on beliefs from all different areas, all different realms of life, okay? A lot of our beliefs are passed down by our parents. A lot of our beliefs are taken on by what we consume, by the environments we're in, all this sorts of thing. But for the topic of this video, I specifically want to focus on the beliefs that were passed down by our parents. So we model our parents in a lot of ways, right? Behaviorally and also beliefs, okay? We're literally modeling what our parents believe, how they think, their worldviews, all these sorts of things. And so if you have taken on beliefs from your parents that they've taken on from their parents and their parents have taken on from their parents, etc., and along this entire line, no one has really questioned whether these beliefs actually serve us or whether this way of viewing the world and operating within the world is, serving us to our highest potential, then you can be running software that you've inherited that just doesn't allow you to operate at your full capacity. Okay, a good example of this is beliefs around money. When parents raise kids, they tend to install within them their own beliefs about money to the kids, right? Now, in a lot of cases, the beliefs that the parents have around money aren't very good beliefs, just to say it straight. They're just not very good beliefs. They have scarcity beliefs around money. They believe that money is all about trading time to get it. They think that, money is hard to get. The whole thing of like money doesn't grow on trees, money is evil. All these sorts of things are beliefs. They're mental constructs built around money. And because the parents believe them, they instill them into the children, in a lot of cases without even realizing they're doing it. And then the children take on these beliefs and then the cycle repeats. And then beliefs become like a generational inheritance. It's almost like a hereditary thing, right? Because it just keeps getting passed down and down and down throughout all the generations. Now, we can have beliefs, and we do have beliefs on all sorts of things, right? Money, relationships, success, health, fucking everything. How you should raise your kids, what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat, the lifestyle. We have beliefs about literally everything. And so the reason I'm making this video is to highlight to you guys that you have been passed down beliefs from your parents. And while some of those beliefs may serve you and may actually be something that's, going to lead to the mastery of the self and to you creating an amazing life, a lot of the beliefs that you have as well will be extremely disempowering, will actually be holding you back, because in most cases, people don't question their beliefs. It is a very deep level of self-awareness to be able to firstly recognize the belief system and then be able to restructure that belief system and remove it if it doesn't serve you, and then reinstall a belief system that does serve you, like a counter belief. And so what I want you guys to do, watching this video, listening to this video, I want you to just question certain beliefs you have and just ask yourself, like, hey, where did I actually formulate this belief from? Did this belief come from my dad or my mum? Did they tell me these things when I was a kid, and did I take that on as absolute truth? And if that's the case, that's fine. But then ask yourself, does this belief serve me? Does this belief get me closer to the life and self that I want, or does it push me further away from it? An example of this is, let's say you want to be a business owner, okay? You want to be a business owner, but you have a belief in your mind that people who own businesses are greedy, capitalistic tyrants, okay? Let's say you have that belief, and that belief was instilled in your mind from your parents. You can try all you want to start a business, build a business, whatever, but if you have that belief in your mind and it's genuinely staying within your mind, you will sabotage yourself. You'll prevent yourself from actually starting and growing that business because you want to confirm the belief you have within your own mind. And so in this way, our beliefs become the limitations that we have. If you, like, to the degree in which your beliefs are, is to the degree in which you can succeed. If you believe that you can only do X or you can only achieve Y, that is all you're going to be able to get to. The beliefs you have within your mind become the ceilings of your potential. And so specifically when it comes to beliefs that parents have instilled within us, it's very wise to question these beliefs, especially if they're like generation upon generational beliefs, right? Like, I worked with a specific client once, obviously I won't mention his name, but he basically told me that, you know, his family and like who he is and whatever, they're known for being like just aggressive, angry people. And I was like, okay, you might, you know, have some outbursts of anger every now and then, but do you believe that this belief is serving you in overcoming that, or do you think it's actually acting as an anchor that's holding you back from overcoming it? And he sort of was a bit startled, and he's like, no, man, he's like, you don't understand. He's like, this is just who we are. Like, as a family, as a generational bloodline, like, we are angry people. And I was like, no, you don't understand. I was like, you holding that belief is what perpetuates this cycle. If you started to instill a belief within your mind that you aren't an angry person, that you aren't someone who has outbursts of anger, then your behavior would mimic that. Your behavior would mirror that, more specifically, right? But because he believed in his mind, and he had a subconscious belief that he was an angry person, and because of the generational bloodline he came from, he just has this temperament of anger. Because he believed that to his core, he perpetuated that cycle until we did the inner work where I actually helped him become aware of the belief. Then we restructured the belief, reframed it, removed it, and then reinstalled a counter belief. And through that process, he was actually able to completely change his, you know, behavioral output, because he was like, oh, I no longer believe that that's who I am. I no longer believe that that's just a part of my temperament. I know now that I have the ability to restructure the way that I show up in the world. I know that I have the ability to be a different person. And so just through the reshifting of one specific belief, we changed an entire behavioral pattern. But not only just in him, in his kids and in his kids' kids, because now that cycle, that pattern, that generational line of beliefs that I am an angry person or we are angry people, that is now broken. And so his children, when he has kids, they will no longer hold this belief of the X family is a family of anger and outbursts, because we broke that. And that's why, like, one of the main reasons I love what I do. I understand that the work I do with one individual person isn't just them I'm affecting, it's them, obviously, and then it's their immediate circle who benefits from a better version of them. But then deeper than that, it's the generations to come, which also benefit from the new cycles and new patterns that we create. Because cycles and patterns and beliefs and worldviews and paradigms and ways of being and all these things, they are passed down generationally. It's very much so a hereditary process. Not many people think of this, not many people are aware of it, but it's very much so the case. I became aware of this, I'm not going to say super young, but I just started to pick up on certain patterns within my family. I was like, okay, we all hold this belief. You know, we all sort of think that because we're like this, we're going to show up like this. And I started to think like, well, maybe that's not the case for me. Like, maybe I can choose to be different. Maybe I can choose to operate in a different way. And when I was able to break that mold and just step outside of that paradigm that, oh, you know, the Gorsies are just like this. This is what the Gorsies do. You know, the Gorsies don't do stuff like that. That's just not how Gorsies are. I was like, hold the fuck up. I don't want to subscribe to that. That's very disempowering. If I want to do a certain thing, I'm going to do it. I don't care if you guys or we have beliefs that we don't do that, or that we only do this, or X, Y, Z. And so understand you do have the power and the ability to actually break generational curses if you can question and assess the narratives and the beliefs that have been instilled within your mind, and then choose to show up in a way that is opposing that, right? You don't have to allow these beliefs that have been instilled within your mind, and you don't have to allow these narratives and these ways of being that maybe have been conditioned into you to be conditioned into your children. You can be the cycle breaker. You can be the one who chooses different. And in you doing so, and in you making that change, you're not only changing yourself, but you're changing your entire future generational bloodline. Your descendant, 500 years from now, will be directly affected by the beliefs that you hold within your mind. I know that's crazy to think of, and it's such a far-fetched concept of the beliefs I hold within my mind will affect the beliefs that my, you know, future descendant will hold within their mind. But it's absolutely true. The beliefs I hold in my mind right now, let's take a random belief that I have, right? I believe that reading is an extremely beneficial thing and everyone should read every single day. If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not expanding or progressing, you're regressing. That's my belief around reading. And so because I hold this belief, that belief will more than likely be instilled in my future children. When my kids see me and they see, oh wow, dad's reading again, dad's reading again, dad's reading again, dad's always got a book in his hand. Why is dad always reading? Maybe that's normal. That's what we're going to do too. They're going to take on the belief and habit and pattern of reading, of learning, of prioritizing, expansion and actually having that as a core value. And so because they're going to see that and take on that, then that'll get passed on to their kids. So what you do today, the beliefs you have, the habits you have, all these sorts of things, they echo throughout your entire generational bloodline. And so it is up to you. You are the point of difference here. You have the ability to break generational curses. You have the ability to show up in a completely different way if you choose to do so. But if you choose to hold the mentality and the perspective of, what's one person's actions gonna have an effect on, the grand scheme of things? A lot more than you would think. A lot more than you would think. I remember when I first started even talking online, right? I was like, I'm just one. I literally had these beliefs. I was like, I'm just one person, what effect is it gonna have? Like if I start talking X, Y, Z, but I'm just like, now, like what I've realized is, I think we underestimate how much of an effect one person can have on the world. Not just, on their family, but also on everyone, right? Like I'm one person, I don't have that big of a following, but I openly share things day in, day out about self-mastery, self-development, all things about like, just in general, getting better. And through the process of me doing this day in and day out, I cannot even tell you the amount of people that have messaged me, called me, reached out to me, just said, bro, you've changed my life, you've helped me with this, boom, 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 I'm now showing up like this in my relationship, I've overcome this, so many messages, right? And it's so beautiful to think that as overwhelming as the amount of people that have reached out to me in terms of how I helped them, that is only a speck in terms of the generational effect that they will have on their kids. And so coming back full circle, don't underestimate the power you have to positively influence your entire generational bloodline and even beyond your bloodline. Your patterns, your beliefs, how you show up, all these things, they matter. What you do today echoes in eternity. It's such a powerful quote. It's so true. So assess the beliefs you have within your mind, assess the habits you have, assess the patterns that you're playing out that are just what your family does or just, what your sort of people do, because we tend to sort of generalize ourselves within certain categories of society, right? It's like, I'm from a Mediterranean line, or I'm European, or, we are this race or this religion, or blah, blah, blah. Be very mindful of generalizing yourself within a specific subgroup of people and then allowing yourself to take on the beliefs and worldviews that they have. Don't just subscribe fucking willy-nilly to whatever beliefs and worldviews and all these sorts of things that have been instilled upon you. You need to have the ability to actually question them, assess them, and say, hey, do I want to take this on? Do I want to perpetuate this? Do I want to continue this cycle? If you don't think that it's serving you and actually allowing you to show up as the best version of you and attain your degree of success and self-mastery, then choose to stop the cycle. Choose to be the one who breaks the generational curse. Choose to be the one who shows up in a different way. So those who follow you and those who are influenced and affected by you, whether it be your generational bloodline or just in general those around you, will be influenced in a positive way. You have the ability to break generational curses. You have the ability to show up in a different way in which will influence others in a positive way, which will then have a butterfly effect and like a domino effect in the most positive and profound way. It is honestly right now beyond your perception. It's like beyond your current understanding on how much of an impact you genuinely can have, because we're conditioned to believe that us as a person, just as one person, don't have the ability to make that impact, but you absolutely do. So from this video, what I want you to do, assess your current beliefs, take on and continue to perpetuate what you believe is serving you and what you think you want to continue throughout your influence and bloodline. But for the ones that you don't think are beneficial to you, I want you to be like, okay, this is not serving me. This is not something I want to continue. This is not something I want to perpetuate. And so then you start the process of removing that. If you don't know how to do this process, like the assessment of belief systems, the removal of certain belief systems, and then the reinstallment of counter belief systems, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, which is just Ricky Gorsey. and we can have a chat around it. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, you can do that if you feel aligned. That's an area that I'm very well versed in. I've done it very in depth and a lot of times. I use a modality of neuro-linguistic programming to be able to do that, fully qualified in all those areas. So if that's something you're interested in, we can work together on a one-on-one basis to help you do that. And I can guarantee you that the effect it will have on your life, on those around you, and on your future bloodline will be more profound than you can even comprehend at this current point in time. Your beliefs shape your entire reality. It is quite literally the ceiling in which you will rise to. If your beliefs are at level 100, you'll get to level 100. If your beliefs are at level 10, you're only going to be able to get to level 10. Your beliefs create your reality. They create your ability to expand to certain capacities, and they create your literal experience of life. And so, yeah, if you want to do the work, if you want to actually work with me in a one-on-one setting, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I hope you did get a ton of value from this video. I hope you assess your beliefs. I hope you make some changes, because it's truly one of the best things you can ever do. And please, if you did get value from this video, give it a like, give it a comment what you think. I'd love to hear your opinions and thoughts, and feel free to subscribe for more videos like this. I make a video every single day on all topics related to self-mastery. And so you will inevitably get a ton of value from staying connected. Thank you guys. I'll talk to you soon and see you on the next one.